Welcome to another episode of Viking Women's Basketball with Lynn Kennedy. The Vikings open their season this Friday against Warner Pacific right here at the Viking Pavilion. Coach, let's first talk about your exhibitions, though. The Vikings beat Simpson 90-52, October 26th, then turn around a week later and beat Lewis and Clark 97-46. Can't argue with either score, but as a Viking fan, I think they should be most excited about the improvements shown from game to game, especially on the defense.
Yeah, I think, Simpson was an early game this year as far as an exhibition or scrimmage game, but we wanted that game in place just to kind of get us used to the new facilities, the new arena, playing on a bigger stage than we've been used to last year at Lewis and Clark and then here at the old Stott. But I think, as we got through that first quarter, you could see the difference in the second, third, and fourth quarters. We improved our defense. Our offense settled down. We shot over 50% in all three quarters to end that game. And then I think the next week we really talked about improvements, not only on the defensive end, but offensive execution. We wanted to mix it up a little bit more on the defensive side. We were able to do that. We were able to do that a little bit more against Lewis and Clark. They come out with, they've got two really good shooters. They've got some players that came back from a team that competed for a Northwest Conference championship the year before, so we knew they were going to be a little bit tougher team. We were able to improve our defensive effort, switch it up a little bit. And I think that showed on the stats as far as our defensive effort. Each quarter, I think they went down in points each quarter. And then offensively, we didn't have that first quarter let down, as we did against Simpson. We were able to come out right away, establish our offensive execution. And you can see, by the final score, we were able to get those points. And it really looked good. We had better flow. We had more fast break transition opportunities. And you could see that with the final score.
We talked afterwards, and you said you were able to show so many looks that you haven't been able to show these last 3 years, and just the personnel that is available to you now this season, you're able to do that.
Yeah, and it's been about a two to 3 year progress as far as putting in everything that we do as a defensive scheme. We're looking to be more of a pressure team. We've been athletic and long, especially with our zone. It's been hard to for teams to kind of find a way around it because we are long and athletic. But we want to be more pressure, be able to mix it up full court, half court, play person-to-person, trap at any time. So we were able to do that. Let's see where it goes, after this week. We want to keep that going and be able to have possessions where we can play multiple defensive schemes because I think it does help us on the offensive end as well. We're a great zone team. I mean, I think teams know that in the past, but if we can pick up our intensity in something other than that once in a while, it can keep teams off balance. They're going to have to do more as far as a scout against us. But I do think it does help our offensive flow and transition and getting out to fast break a little bit quicker definitely helps us with our speed.
And the other major takeaway from the exhibitions, I would say, is your depth. You have the returners that everybody knows what they're going to provide, but then the newcomers really shined during both exhibitions. Just to rattle off some facts, Jordan Stotler started both exhibitions. Desiree Hansen tied Ashley Bolston for a game-high 18 against Simpson, then turned around and led the team with 17 against Lewis and Clark. And then throw in Anna Tainta in there, too. She was a lockdown defender for you, especially against Lewis and Clark. We'll just talk about what the depth that you guys have, how that will help you this season.
I think it helps with our returners. They have that experience. It lets our newcomers kind of just develop into their game, and you can see that the last 2 weeks in those exhibition games. You look at Des, she's coming off the bench. She gave us a spark offensively in both games. When she settles into her own, she can play against the best, as far as offensively. Now, she's got to pick it up defensively and have that intensity, that consistency that we're looking for. You look at Jordan being able to start both games. She gives us, at that stretch four, it's very rare you have a 6'4", 6'5", athletic, long player that can play inside, that can shoot threes, and she can shoot threes with the best of them. She's able to extend the defense. It opens it up more for Courtney and Ashley or whoever's posting up on the inside, Pia, whoever may be posting up. So I think she creates a lot of mismatches, especially when we get into conference play. And then, Anna's been a really great surprise for us. We knew she was a great player coming in, but she's elevated her game every week. I mean, just continues to work, and her work ethic and practice, you can see that. She's able to learn the offense, and then defensively she's stepping up, and she actually gives us a spark defensively because she is quick, athletic, She's long to the ball. She can get in the passing lanes. We haven't had a defender like her since I've been here. I think that she gives us a little bit of strength on the defensive end as well too. So, and then you look at Pia. Pia came in and gave us a double-double in that game on Friday, and if we can get that from her on a consistent, normally it's either points or rebounds. We always get a consistent defensive effort, but if she can combine those two and we get that presence from her, you know, she's probably one of the best backup posts in the league, and she's taken that role and provides a spark for us off the bench. So pleased with how all of our freshmen and really our newcomers are settling into their role on this team, and we've got to continue to get better as this week goes.
Well, let's get into the preview for this week. You know, you start against Warner Pacific, a program that you're familiar with from your time at Southern Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, they're well coached. They play extremely hard. They beat Simpson by 20-plus points, I think, and in that game they threw a lot of different defenses at them. They're full court, they're half court, they're trapping, they played man, they played some zone. So they'll run a lot of different sets, and that's what we need in this game. We need to see a lot of different things going into, you know, non-conference games and then into the Big Sky Conference. So it's going to be a great game for us. They'll compete. They'll put their best effort forward. We've got to be ready. It's not going to be like the last 2 weeks. You can't just walk in and assume that the score is already put up on the board. You've got to play. We've got to be able to execute early on. We can't wait for that second quarter. And I think our defensive intensity needs to show up in that first quarter. We've got to dominate really the glass, and that will get us going on the transition.
And then you host San Jose State on Sunday, a team you beat on the road 90-78 last season.
You know, they're improved. They're younger this year, but I believe that they're more improved this year. It's more of her recruit. She's got an athletic team. They get up and down. They're wanting to score at a tremendous pace, 90 to 100 points every game. The thing with them, though, is they're just so quick, and we've got to be able to keep them in front. We've had a little bit of trouble with that this preseason of keeping players in front, but I think I love our work this week in practice. We've done a much better job of keeping players in front, and they're so athletic. If we can keep them in front, force them to take tough shots, I think that's the main thing against them. But they can get up and down. It's going to be a tremendous challenge for us to play against them. They're coming up here now after we beat them last year, but they've always been well coached. They work hard, very athletic team, so it should be a good game on Sunday.
All right, there it is. Once again, the Vikings host Warner Pacific Friday, November 9th at 7 p.m., and then host San Jose State Sunday, November 11th at 2 p.m. Both games right here at the Viking Pavilion. Get all your information at govikes.com.